Have you ever felt ignored until you realized you need to stop expecting too much from others? Seriously, it's not just about understanding other people's feelings. It's also about understanding yourself better. In this video, I'll share some steps to help you break free from emotional dependency, especially in relationships. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like and drop a comment below. Honestly, your support keeps me motivated to create content that helps you grow and become the best version of yourself. All right, let's dive into the steps that will help you rewrite your relationship story. Step 1. Stop being too available. A lot of us believe that the more we're always there for our partner, the more they'll see our worth. I used to think the same way. I was always there whenever they needed me, always the one reaching out first, and always ready to support them. At first, they seemed to appreciate it. But over time, I started feeling like my presence was taken for granted, like I wasn't that important anymore. That's when I asked myself, do I really need to always be available just to keep this relationship going? So, I decided to take a step back, not to create distance, but to restore balance. I reduced constant communication, focused more on myself, and did things that made me happy. At first, they were confused, but eventually, they started reaching out more, paying more attention, and appreciating the time we spent together. If you feel unappreciated, try giving a little space, not to play games, but to maintain your self-worth. If they truly care, they'll notice your absence and put in more effort to keep the relationship strong. Step 2. Don't rely on your partner for happiness. I used to think, as long as they're here, I'll be happy. But honestly, that mindset is a trap. Whenever they gave me attention, I felt great. But the moment they got busy or weren't as attentive, I started overthinking, feeling anxious, and questioning my worth. Eventually, I realized that I was depending too much on someone else for my happiness instead of finding it within myself. So, I shifted my focus. I started exploring my own interests, picking up new hobbies, and dedicating time to personal growth. And the result? I became more confident, more at peace, and emotionally stable. Your partner should complement your happiness, not be your sole source of it. When you're happy on your own, your relationship becomes much healthier. Step 3. Stay true to yourself. A lot of times, we change who we are just to keep a relationship going. I've been there. I tried to adjust my personality just to make my partner happy, even when it didn't feel right. Over time, I lost myself, and that only made me miserable. Eventually, I realized that the right partner won't force you to become someone you're not. So, I started standing firm in my values and beliefs. And guess what? The right person will respect you even more for it. Step 4. Stop seeking constant validation. I used to crave my partner's approval. I wanted them to constantly reassure me, compliment me, and make me feel special. But over time, I noticed that this only made me feel more insecure. Why? Because every time they didn't give me the validation I wanted, I felt like something was wrong with me. I became dependent on their reassurance, and that was exhausting. So, I started building my self-worth from within instead of relying on external validation. I focused on what I'm good at, what I enjoy, and what makes me proud of myself. And once I stopped seeking constant validation, my relationship became much lighter and healthier. Step 5. Communication is key. One of my biggest mistakes in past relationships was expecting my partner to just know what I needed. I used to think, if they really love me, they should understand how I feel without me having to say it. But here's the truth. No one can read your mind. If you don't communicate, your partner won't know what you need. I used to get upset when my partner wasn't being attentive enough. But after reflecting on it, I realized I never actually told them what I wanted. I just expected them to figure it out, and that wasn't fair. Now, whenever I need something in a relationship, I speak up. I communicate openly without blaming or assuming the worst. And that has made our conversations so much healthier. Step 6. Don't let conflict destroy your relationship. Arguments are normal. But what determines whether a relationship survives isn't the presence of conflict, it's how you handle it. I used to let my emotions take over during fights. I felt like I had to win, like I had to prove that I was right. But over time, I realized that conflict isn't about winning or losing, it's about finding solutions together. Now, when disagreements happen, I try to stay calm and listen to my partner's perspective. If emotions run high, I take a step back before saying something I might regret. And honestly, that approach has made my relationships much stronger and more understanding. Step 7. Don't be afraid to give each other space. Sometimes we fear that giving our partner space means losing them. I used to think that way too. I believed that if they got too caught up in their own world, it meant they were drifting away from me. But in reality, personal space is necessary for a healthy relationship. We all need time to grow as individuals. If we're constantly glued to each other, things can start feeling suffocating. So now I've learned to trust. If a relationship is strong, giving space won't break it. In fact, it makes us appreciate each other even more. At the end of the day, a healthy relationship isn't about always being available, seeking validation, or making your partner your only source of happiness. It's about staying true to yourself, maintaining your own happiness, and finding a balance between love and individuality. You don't need someone else to make you feel complete. You are already enough, with or without a partner. If you agree, drop a comment below, and don't forget to like this video so I can keep making content like this for you. See you in the next video.